This is Motorsport Radio. Join the conversation and have your say on motorsport-radio.com. Motorsport Radio. The Superbike Show on Motorsport Radio.
Hello and welcome to the Superbike Show on Motorsport Radio. We are live, it's a Thursday and it is boiling hot. My name is Lester. Hello and welcome. Loads of stuff to talk about this evening on the show. We have got lots of stuff to mention. And you have to forgive me as well if I seem to be suffering from the effects of heat stroke. It's probably because I am today. I was left out in the sun for a little too long, and a lack of water and such. But I will still try my best anyway this evening. So, loads to come. BSB, well, how does the standing, how is the championship coming into the third round? Is it perhaps where you thought it would be pre-season? Are the regular title contenders there or thereabouts? Are your favourites looking good at this moment as we head into the Alton Park round next week, I believe it is? Let us know, because we're live and you can contact us on the show this evening. It's at Motorsport Radio on Facebook. It's at M-Sport Radio on Twitter. And you can send us an email if you want. It's hello@motorsport.radio. That's the actual domain, motorsport.radio. So we will have a very special guest later in the show in about 25 minutes time or so, about half an hour time. Everquip Racing boss Stuart Everard will be joining us on the show later to be interrogated by Kiko Giles. Kiko, indeed. Who, incidentally, by the way, joins us on the, once again, as ever, to talk all sorts of nonsense. Hello, good evening, Kiko.
Good evening. Nice to see we're all here. All the thousands of you that tune in, whether this is you're watching it live. Excuse me.
We've started. He's just getting the memo now.
Obviously, that's not fan mail. Excuse me.
Was it Tony Morris?
It wasn't Tony Morris. No.
Hi, Tony.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening to those of you joining us live. Good evening to you who are joining us across the world, because we get loads of viewers from all over the world. Australia. And also, hello to people watching it back. Of course, you can watch this back as a visual stream on Facebook. You can watch it on our website at motorsport.radio. You can watch it on Twitter. You can even download it. So when you're on your way to work and you don't want to go into that office job straight away, just chill out for half an hour and listen to us rabble on about pretty much nothing. And you will realise it would have been 2 fantastic hours completely wasted.
Yes. In your life. As I said, Stuart Everard on the show later. If you've got any questions to ask him about, anything at all, we'll pick the best ones, and Kiko will probably forget to ask. No, he won't. No, he won't. He definitely won't. But if you do have any questions to ask Stuart Everard, get in touch with us. Let us know. It's at M-Sport Radio on Twitter. It's Motorsport Radio on Facebook. And you can just leave a comment in the comments box of this live stream. Right, so before we dive into everything else, we should talk a little bit about some news that is not going too deeply into news, but just cover, I would say, important things that need to be covered, perhaps that you might have missed in the past few days. Now, you should remember Dan Hegarty, who lost his life at Macau last year, the end of the season last year. Fans and family members have put together a fundraiser for Dan Hegarty, because although he had life insurance, the insurance company refused to pay out because he had the temerity to die outside of the EU, the USA, Canada, New Zealand, and Europe as well, which for some unknown reason is what his life insurance covered. Combined Insurance, the name of the company, said in a letter to the family that they are aware that Mr. Hegarty was in Hong Kong at the time, and unfortunately they must advise that given the above exclusion, namely the countries, they are unable to consider the claim. So obviously you can imagine that already having one massive blow for the family, the insurance company refusing to pay out is further disappointment. So fans and family members and close friends and relatives are all coming together to raise money that they thought would have been covered in the insurance. We will put the link to that fundraiser in the show notes after the show. So if you fancy also chipping in and showing your support to the family, then you can do so. Also, in other news, Marc Marquez revealed today the reason why he stalled on the grid in Argentina. If you remember that infamous jump start that he wasn't really allowed to do. Well, he put the problem down to an electronics problem caused by the Honda bike stopping on the grid, which I would guess might be a bit of a problem at the start of the race when you have to stop to get going. He said it was similar to what Cal Crutchlow suffered in practice, and Cal was raging about that. Couple of bits of news and information as I was just scouring some of the news websites. Kiko, have you seen anything emerge or break? I know we had a bit of breaking news last week, just as we went off air, regarding the Oliver's Mount.
Yes, the Oliver's Mount Spring Cup races.
Yes.
We did briefly touch on it, about it maybe not going ahead. Well, news is it ain't going ahead. Unfortunately, the Spring Cup races, which are very popular up there in Scarborough at Oliver's Mount, they're not going ahead this year because the ACU said to the track organiser, you've got to upgrade the circuit, got to make it a bit safer in some areas, and the ACU have not given the licence to run the event because apparently the circuit organisers haven't done enough. Now that is a big problem, which is very, very popular, and to be fair, if they're not giving it to the Spring Cup, makes you wonder about the big one in September. I think it is the Gold Cup, and you've got the Cock of the North as well before that. So worrying times up in Scarborough, and I hope that it all gets sorted out, because it'd be a disaster to lose road racing. In the UK at Scarborough, we need more road racing, not less of it. So yeah, hopefully all the best in the Gold Cup in 2018 will go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. No word on any assessments or safety assessments. Well, I presume there hasn't been anyway. I've not heard anything, and I've not bothered to check up either. Journalism. So that emerged. That was finally confirmed, just annoyingly after we went off air last week. And other than that, there hasn't been any. I suppose Ian One said as well, I think yesterday or the day before, Ian One, and I think you already sort of like mentioned it in the last show, maybe as a rumour. Ian One has come out and said that he's had offers to stay in MotoGP, but not with Suzuki for next year. He insists, however, that he does still want to re-sign with Suzuki as his first choice. If so, then why even mention it?
Yeah, bit of a PR stunt. Andrea, he's good at all them. I don't know where he'd go. Aprilia is obviously an option. He's Italian. They need an Italian, I think. They brought Marco Melandri over in 2015 for the grand amount of 8 races. And then that kind of all fell flat on its face, and they haven't had an Italian in the team since then. Aprilia at the moment are really struggling. Aleix Espargaro, who has got the bike set up in such a different way to how most people set a bike up, even he is not making the Aprilia work. But Scott Redding seems to be growing in confidence all the time with it, especially after the Argentine Grand Prix. He got the Aprilia team's first point, so really good news there for him. But yeah, as far as Aprilia concerned, I think you'd have to look at Andrea Iannone or someone like Davide Giuliano, because I think they're the kind of riders that would get on it and make it work. That they are the kind of forceful riders that will force the Aprilia to fit in the top 10, and that's what they need.
Although, according to an article on motorsport.com as well, they suggested maybe Jorge Lorenzo.
Aprilia?
At Suzuki, maybe.
Oh, yes, Suzuki. That's apparently a 90% done deal at Suzuki, so we'll expect to see Jorge Lorenzo back in blue next year, just not at Yamaha. I'm not convinced that's going to be a massive difference to how he's performing now, to be fair. I think his confidence has been so knocked that it's going to take something quite impressive. I think Jorge needs to win. He needs to believe in himself that he can win again. You know, he's struggled.
Well, he is a winner. He knows how to win.
Yes, but not on a Ducati. You know, the Yamaha, he's only ever rode the Yamaha before making a switch to the Italian manufacturer last year. Jorge Lorenzo needs to do something pretty spectacular. I think I said in the last show or 2 shows ago, he needs to be scoring around 60 points or more by the time we get to Jerez. Well, mathematically, that already can't happen. If you look on past form in Kota, that's not amazing for Jorge either. Marc Marquez has won every race there as well. So you've got to start asking about Jorge Lorenzo, whether he's up to the job at Ducati. You know, a lot of people had him down to be fast. I still think he will have his moments, but I don't think he's going to be a top 5 runner at the end of the year, which is a shame, really, because I can't believe we're saying it, but I think we mentioned it last time. Jorge Lorenzo really does face the prospect of not getting a factory ride anywhere, because some rumours say that Suzuki wants Zarco. They're more or less a keeping in. So if that happens, where does he go if Danilo Petrucci gets promoted?
Where indeed. Do you have any theories? Let us know. We will, because we're nosy, basically. We want to know what you think. If you have any, maybe, I don't know, some outside information or inside information that that would be considered juicy, we'd like to know that sort of stuff. It's at M Sport Radio on Twitter, Motorsport Radio on Facebook, or just leave it in the comments box wherever you're listening to this show. So yeah, over to BSB then, and wow, it was a good couple of races at Brands. Very good. After qualifying, I think where Brad Ray was on pole, we all, I think, I'm speaking for everybody, of course, so arrogant. I think we all thought, didn't we? Did we? I don't know. I thought anyway.
We'll get there in a minute.
You'll be getting a slap soon. All right.
Well, so, I have heard you are a slapper.
Brad Ray, could he have converted the pole position into maybe 2 more race wins? That was what we were all hoping for, and he almost did it, but it just wasn't to be. He did, however, provide a Titanic, possibly a classic scrap, with himself and Shaky Byrne throughout the entire race. Just those two alone, slugging it out at the front, overtaking back markers. Literally no one else within like a mile. It was a great fight, great spectacle, great race, which was won by Shane Byrne.
It was in the end, yeah. It was more intriguing, more than a head-to-head. But Shane Byrne really was stalking Bradley Ray, and I've got to say, I'm not sure Shaky would have won that had Brad not made a small mistake down to Paddock Hill.
Well, they couldn't get past, could he?
Exactly. There is only certain areas at Brands Indy where you can make a pass. Now, Paddock Hill's one of them, but even that's a bit dodgy anyway. Druids is an obvious choice, and Graham Hill. But apart from that, there was nowhere really that Shaky looked better. He looked good into Druids, but I don't think it would have been a do-or-die effort to try and make a move on Brad. It didn't amount to that, and Shaky won. Brilliant race, though, as you say, Lester. But what impressed me the most about that whole battle was the way Bradley Ray thought, I don't need to win this. I'm in the lead of the championship by 19 points, and the guy that's just passed me after my mistake is the one who's chasing me. So why should I chase after him and possibly make another mistake? And this time it'll be the ultimate disaster of crashing out and hand him the championship lead. He used his brain, very clever ride from Brad. And after 4 rounds, he's been on the podium 3 times, of which 2 have been wins, and he's been on pole in 3 out of the 4 races as well. So fantastic stuff. And that lap he did in qualifying, a 44.9, the only rider
record, wasn't it?
Entire weekend to get below the 45-second mark. I think James Ellison lapped a 44.7 last year in qualifying, but it's academic Brad had the absolute outright pace on one lap.
Yeah, certainly. And I don't think anybody beat the lap record after Brad Ray beat it, did they? I certainly... That was the latest information I had, is that Brad Ray set the new lap record at Brands Indy.
He may well have. I'm not sure if he did it in the race. I know he set the fastest lap, but I don't know if it was a new lap record. But in the outright lap record, if you look at...
race one, new lap record, Brad Ray, 45.201.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just that's about 11 thousandths quicker than the old one, 45.212. I think that was Schoenburn. But either way, the absolute outright lap record. I mean, it's all right to look at it in race pace, but for outright speed, that's what I like to look at. I think it's James Ellison, a 44.7 last year. Obviously, second qualifying, but that's the benchmark to beat.
So what do you think about Brad Ray's heroics, I'm going to call them, to keep Shaky behind him almost all of the race? If you didn't actually watch it, you missed an absolute classic. It wasn't, BSB, we're so used to associating classics with like a pack of like 10, 15 riders now. Anybody could win, but just watching, it was like a good old-fashioned scrap between two gladiators on track, wasn't it? I really enjoyed that fight because it was almost like, because you've got the current champion, current legend, versus what probably will be a future champion.
Yes.
Brad Ray. I say it in hushed tones because I don't want to jinx him.
Yes. It's not that we ever jinx anyone.
You do. I don't. But I make predictions. That's all.
And get them right every time, annoyingly.
So let us know, basically, what you thought of race number 1 at Brands in BSB. Was it the classic that I'm building it up to be, or have you seen better? Was it just a good race? Let us know in the comments box. And what could Brad Ray do? Are you somebody who supported Brad Ray going into the season, and has he outstripped your expectations? That's what we want to know as well.
And don't forget, if you are new to the show and you don't know how this all operates, we do have a special guest on every week. Stuart Everard is our guest this week, but 2 weeks ago we had Brad Ray on himself, so you can go on our website, motorsport.radio, and you can check all of that out.
Exactly, yeah, motorsport.radio, the place to go and find all of the archive footage and listen, perhaps, and listen to our 24/7 radio stream as well, packed full of classic interviews and lots of good stuff throughout the day. It's all on the website, motorsport.radio. Other things that happened which were not the fight for the lead in race number 1 at Brands. Who in particular stood out for you in that race?
It was brilliant to see Michael Laverty back on the pace. I've got to say, it's been a long time since I've seen Michael look good throughout the weekend, purely because he's not been on the right bike for a year or so. But yeah, nice to see him back in there, and I think he's in the top 6 now as well. So he's 4 consecutive top 10s, I believe he's had now. Well, this year, if you go back to last year, I think it'll be 5 or 6. But point being, Michael Laverty's back. He's 66-1 to win the championship. So get your money on while it's still good odds, I tell you. Glenn Irwin was nice to see up there as well. He said he could win races before the weekend, narrowly missing out. Led into the last lap, didn't lead after it because Leon Haslam beat him to the line in race 2. Not quite sure what's going on the other side of the JG Speedfit Kawasaki garage with Luke Mossey. I don't know if it's confidence, if he's just struggling with the bike, or if the pace has moved on in great speed and he hasn't. I don't know.
I've not heard anything. I don't know. I've not spoken to him, but I would imagine it's not confidence. I would like to think it's not.
I hope it's not. He doesn't come across like he's short of confidence, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, he's very confident that he can do the job, and he proved that last year because he did the double at Brands Indy, which kind of makes me think, I don't know if everything's fallen into place right for Luke. So I hope he returns back to the front at Alton Park. We know he goes well there as well. Maybe he's still suffering from injury last year, but he did say that he's back to full fitness. So we'll wait and see.
Yeah, he did actually say, he revealed that I think he said that he perhaps came back a bit too early. And
maybe aggravated an old injury as well. Yeah, in doing so.
He said, did he say that to me? Yeah, we had him on the media
Donington Park
day. Yes, he said that to me. Oh, I did an interview
at the media day.
Yeah, he said basically. Again, you can go back and watch this on motorsport.radio, but he said something along the lines of that he probably should have just sat the rest of this season out because there was really kind of no real hope of getting into the showdown, and certainly no hope of winning it. Obviously, he knows his body and his recovery rate better than anyone else. He decided to come back, and what happened, or what rather didn't happen. Maybe it would be good to see him bounce back, for the want of a better phrase, perhaps. Not that he's ever been away. He's always considered to be expected to be one of the front runners with his teammate.
Just had a comment flood in. Not a lot. Paul Vickers says, "Hi lads." Reminds me, Ryan Vickers, his lad, what a race, what a weekend, what an incredible weekend. Ryan Vickers has had 3 race wins on the bounce now in Stock 600. Now that's the first time since 2015, and Mason Law since that happened. Consequently, if he wins at Alton Park, Ryan, then he'll equal Mason Law's 4 on a bounce that same year. So yeah, great result from him. But he dominated the Stock 600. No one could touch him, no one can get near him. But it wasn't that race that really made me look at the quality of Ryan. It was the fact that he went into the Supersport race on a bike that wasn't very good, or wasn't very good in comparison to everyone else's, because it is a good bike in its class, but it is not the level of, say, the McAdams Yamaha or the Gearlink Kawasaki. But Ryan Vickers made it work. He got 2 points. He finished ahead of other Yamaha riders. And it was an amazing achievement, against a field that is quite solid. So, but no, it's not. I think I got the words wrong there. It's not the bike isn't good. The bike's amazing. It's the fact that the bike shouldn't have been able to get to 14th in that class, because that class is quite hard as well. But Ryan really made it work. So, and also thanks for the lift back up to the bottom paddock. Up to the bottom paddock? Yeah, up to the bottom paddock.
Was this to go and have some beverages, perhaps?
No, of course not. Of course not. We've got another comment. Andy Rowlinson, Bradway future champion, top quality rider. That is absolutely right. Yeah, I think everyone's in agreement.
We've got another comment.
The conversation. Hi, Lester and Keno. Thank you. Hi to Bar. Not sure what that one means, but good evening, Bricktop. Nice to see you here. But yeah, all is well. Keep your comments flooding in, and if there's anything you want us to ask Stuart Everard, who's coming on in about 5 minutes' time, let us know, and we'll get some questions put to him.
Exactly, yes. Paul Vickers, I guess he was obviously. We forget sometimes that the people who we're talking about. Sometimes they're tuned in listening.
Just to give Paul some media coverage as well. He was third in the World Wheelie Championship in, I think, I don't know what year. I'll go for 1972.
What do you have to do to get third in a wheelie? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe we need to get Paul Vickers on, and he can talk to us all about it.
Okay.
I think that's
a resounding yes.
Yes. Yeah.
So where was we up to anyway? BSB Race 2, and then we sort of drifted off into like Stock 600, I think. Yes. Did we talk about BSB Race 2? We didn't, did we?
We did, yeah. Aslan beating Irwin on the line, or halfway round the lap. That was Leon Aslam's first win, and I think that's brought a lot of confidence back for him, because he finished last season on a bit of a low. Came back at Donington, had a mixed weekend, I think, but he's come back to Brands. Good shout. We've also got to mention all the best in Dan Linfoot's recovery, because he had a bit of a bad accident. I think it was on the Friday. Got a C6 vertebrae fracture, I believe it was. So he obviously missed the weekend and also lost his place in the showdown. So hopefully Dan Lintrick can be back and fit and ready for Alton Park. If not, here's a conversation we can have tonight. Who would you put on the Honda as his replacement?
Ooh, that's a good question. Well, who would you put on the Honda as his replacement, Kiko?
For me, Lee Johnston. Because Lee's riding the Honda at the TT, or Ian Hutchinson, either of them. They're both riding the Honda at the Northwest and the TT. So, yeah, I think that would make sense. Or for some fun, you can always put Leon Cameo on. But, again, I would have said that. And, you know, Leon's obviously out injured now for a while. And all the best to Leon. That was a horrible accident which he was involved in at Aragon. He got run over. So, yeah, unfortunately, a lot of injuries to report, and we wish everyone who got injured all the very best. Exactly,
yeah. Do come back soon. And it was amazing to see Glenn Irwin finish second, only just, considering that he had a horror crash at Donington, didn't he? At the opening round. He was the initial reports were saying that he broke his back or something, but his neck, aggravated an old injury apparently, and we saw him in a full sort of like head brace, and it was all looking very sort of like kind of serious. And the next day he was back on the bike.
Absolutely, it was. He was quite good actually. I mean, I rate Glenn very highly as a very good road
and he came
rider.
On the show the following
and
week,
a very good short circuit rider. We won't dwell on what he said too much because you can find out. Motorsport.radio. Go and have a look. Glenn Irwin's interview is out there somewhere. So have a little search for it and tune in. Let us know your thoughts on that. And don't forget, he will be on again before the Northwest 200 because we've got to get him finishing the League of Knowledge.
Yeah.
That I messed up.
Because Kiko forgot to, he didn't write the questions down in time, so he had one too many short questions, and what a shambles! What a shambles!
Can I just say, you're going to laugh now. If I'm moving around and I look in pain, it's
because he is.
Because since Monday,
he's run out of cream.
No, since Monday, I have decided that enough is enough as far as fat and unhealthy foods are concerned. So I will now be on, not a diet, but I think I'll be eating healthier foods, and I've joined the gym. And unfortunately, I did a little bit too much at the gym, and my arms are nearly killing me. So if we finish the show early tonight, it's because I've gone to hospital to have my arms cut off.
What a tard.
And I've got a sore throat as well, if you can't tell.
Yeah, it's never stopped you talking before, though, for 2 solid hours. Anyway.
No.
But yeah, no, I suppose I should show some sort of encouragement. Yay. Gym stuff. Yeah.
You've lost a lot of weight, Lester. How did you do that?
What?
How did you lose all your weight?
What are you talking about?
No. How did you lose all your weight?
People don't know what you're talking about. Basically, okay, so since we're talking about Kiko being fat, a couple of years ago, I used to be massive. I mean, like 3 times the size of Kiko, basically. You wouldn't think it, I know, because I'm gorgeous. But it is true. And I just couldn't be bothered going to the gym. And I thought, well, sod it, I'll just get a gastric band. Did that. Lost a ton of weight, like 90 odd pounds within like 4 months. Left me with like bingo wings and everything. Basically, anyone who knows anything about it means that anyone who has it, you can only eat tiny little kind of mouse-like portions. So I now get mocks wherever I go to eat and have various amounts of food anxiety.
We must say that the best place to go if you're a gastric band eater is not a gastric band eater.
Shall we move on? Because no one actually gives a no one cares.
Toby Carvery, stay clear. Especially the one near the NEC in Birmingham.
Yeah, horrific place. Anyway, right. So
love it.
So that's almost every. So yeah, So the demise of Kiko's black pudding.
Yes.
That's
no more.
Tony Morris has been on, and he's recommended you get some anusol.
Some what?
Some soothing things for your discomfort.
Yes, yeah, maybe. He has mentioned Andy Reid. We will come on to Stock Thousands a little bit later on.
We will.
Once we have got through Stuart Everard, who will be on very, very soon.
Yes, he will be on forthwith in the next few minutes, hopefully, if he answers his phone. Do get your questions into us, or in for Stuart anyway. What would you like to ask him? This is your big chance to ask the boss of EverQuip Racing various questions. Ask him what you like, really, within reason, of course. We will pick the best ones out, and we will put those to him right now, because he joins us on the line. Hello, Stuart.
Hello.
Oh, yes. Hello there. Slightly loud. Sorry about that. We didn't need eardrums anyway. That's okay. Good to have you on the show. Sorry, I turned you up way too loud. My fault. Thank you for joining us. You are live on Motorsport Radio and on the Superbike Show. Fantastic to have you on.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. And a little-known thing, we're talking about gastric bands. I've had one also, so we share something similar, Lester.
Really?
Yeah, well, no, I had a gastric bypass, but I was 27 stone, and I'm now 19, so I lost 8 stone.
Bloody hell, well done.
No swearing, Lester, you're live.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah, I just, it's
You tell him.
I thought I was special having like a gastric band, and then I don't know.
God.
Anyway.
I feel left out.
Well, you carry on the way you are, Kiko, and you can one day maybe
join the club.
Anyway, so yeah,
Shall
Kiko's... sorry. Kiko's got some questions for you, Stuart.
Okay, fire away. Evening, Kiko. Where's your glasses?
They're here. Emoji Man has not gone far.
Fantastic.
For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, scroll to EverQuip Racing's Facebook page and you can find something from around Knock Hill last year. But Stuart, yeah, nice to have you on the show. Brilliant. Of course, we'll come on to the success of Brands Indy in a short while. But first of all, people might not know who you are or what EverQuip's all about. So what is EverQuip all about? The business side of things first and then on to the racing.
Okay. EverQuip Garage Equipment is a East Yorkshire manufacturing engineering company. We're based in Gilberdyke, in just near Goole. I'm originally from Hull. Started with the business when I was 15 years old. And worked alongside my fellow directors and owners, Cal Crisp and Lyndon Blackburn. We bought it out when I was 24, 25. And we used to do garage equipment, garage compressors, vehicle lifts and such. But now we manufacture inspection pits. These are a steel prefabricated unit which is used for servicing of buses and trucks and trains and cars, and we manufacture everything ourselves, and we send them all over the world, predominantly in the UK market. Our biggest customers are Stagecoach, Arriva, Scania, Volvo, people like that. But we've now moved further afield, working in America, Scandinavia, the Middle East. So, yeah.
Okay, so that, to me, is all very good, but we need to understand what's the connection with bike racing, because we've had conversations and you're not really the bike racing person or fan or whatever. So what was the connection? What made you think, let's go and have a race team, EverQuip Racing?
Well, no, and it's people find it amusing that I don't particularly like bikes. My mum was always of the opinion that bikes are dangerous, and I'm never going to ride one. And what my mum said was gospel, so I never have ridden a bike, and I've got no desire at all. But Carl Chris, my fellow director, is a massive bike fan, and I'm a huge motorsport fan. Formula One, rallying. My family's always done rallying and such, but it is quite a long story why we're here, but Carl came up to me at the start of 2016 and said, can we do a bit of sponsorship for a lad called Bjorn Esmond, who I'd never met before. And I said, Carl, what we're going to get out of it, what's the point, whatever. But he wanted to do it, so, he owns part of the company and whatever. And I said, yeah, okay. As long as we can get some tickets to go to Cadwell Park, which is a local circuit. I said, well, yeah, well, fine. And then we also sponsor the Hornsey Bike event, which is a massive event in Hornsey in East Yorkshire where myself and Carl live. And I said part of the deal to supply him the fuel, which is what we did for Bjorn, he needs to come up to the event and bring his bike and whatever. And that's where I first met Bjorn. And that's where it all basically started.
So we say it started there, and there was a bit of sponsorship. It all kind of it started to come together at the end of the year. But did you ever think that you'd become like your own team owner, so to speak? Like EverQuip Racing was formed from that in 2017 with the whole team based around Bjorn.
Well, yeah, I mean, EverQuip and the people who own it and myself and the people involved with it, if we're going to do something, we do it right. And we don't bugger about, we do it right. And once we decided that we'd do it, and myself and Carl was very keen to do it, and we had to get Lyndon on board. Not get him on board, but we as a company, we agree everything as three people. There's no single boss, really. Although I'm the mouthpiece and I'm the talker, Lyndon's the head of engineering, Carl does all of the installation, so the three of us together work brilliantly well. We've worked together and we're still best mates after 30 years. So it was a case we had to, once we said, yes, we'll do it, then we'll do it. And we're all motorsport fans, and for us to, to be able to do it, then we thought that we'd give it a go. And so we then decided, right, okay, we'll start, we'll crack on, and it then went on from there. I talked to Bjorn about how much he'd spent in 2016. I said that his budget was massively low, because obviously it's a privateer, as most lads in stock 600 and Supersport are, and we as a company wanted to portray an image for our clients to enjoy themselves, and that takes, we want to put it is an advert for our company, and we have people in very high positions coming to the events, and we want people to enjoy themselves. But we do have a very good family atmosphere, which people seem to really enjoy. But to cut a very long story short, we bought the truck, we upgraded the bike, we got the team together, and then we went to Cartagena at the start of 2017. We put a good display on, and then we set off last year. Didn't have the season that we particularly wanted, but I didn't, to be honest, I didn't understand the severity of the competition and how close the bike racing is, because I've never really, it's not something that I've really got into, and people find it quite amusing that I just know nothing about motorbikes. But I do know about marketing, and I do know about running a business, and I do know about what it needs to make a company, a business successful, and that's what I bring to the team.
Was it harder in 2017 than you first thought?
It was. I mean, Bjorn said to me, it's going to be a roller coaster, and I'm used to roller coasters because running a business, and I take my hat off to anybody who has a business, it's massively difficult, and you put your heart and soul into something, and it's and motorsport is a very cruel mistress, and it really, I mean, it was very difficult, and we had some very difficult times, but that's what makes the winning, or the 5th place at Alton Park in the 3rd round last year, that was just absolutely fantastic. It was wonderful, and the whole team came together, it's fantastic to be part of it, and I'm immensely proud of the team and everyone who is part of it.
EverQuip Racing has obviously expanded operations in 2018. You've brought in James Rospoli. Now that is a signing that has got everyone excited. And now we can talk about Brands Indy. First podium last weekend. How did that feel? Was there a sense of achievement there?
It's all right. I've had better days. No, it was great, and the kid really, he rode so well. Very difficult weekend for the team. We just couldn't seem to get it together. It's so ultra competitive there, and there's nothing between. Bjorn qualified 19th and was 0.7 off, and James qualified 10th and he was 0.3 off. You can't even sneeze or fart in 0.3 of a second. It's just ridiculous. But yeah, again, if you go back to Donington Park and James was running Fed, and I thought that we was going to do it then, and it was a case of Grainer Caves caught a lot of people out, and James, by his own admission, said he just got greedy because he's been in the wilderness for a couple of years. And I think that with Everquick Racing, he's really found a team that embrace him and really support him without any massive undue pressure. And that's the same for both riders. I think that in a business or in any walk of life, and in motorsport especially, if you embrace people and really trying to encourage them and not put massive undue pressure on them. Obviously, there is a lot of pressure. There's a lot of money goes into it. There's a lot of expectation. But if you have a great weight on your shoulder that you're carrying around all the time, then that's going to bring you down. You need to make people flourish and give them the tools, obviously, to do the job. So when James chucked it down at Grainer Caves, I wasn't jumping up and down, as I wasn't jumping up and down last year when Bjorn come off. You've just got to put it back together, and it was great for Andy Jameson and at Donington there was Connor and Craig and Joe. I hope I haven't forgotten anybody else who waited till 3 o'clock in the morning putting it back together, and then the next day he got fourth, and you can see the kid's enthusiasm. He's just, am I talking too much?
No, carry on. Carry on. This is inside.
Yeah, so...
no one can understand you because of your foreign accent, but, we'll let that slide.
Well, I can't help that you lot are all foreigners, you know how immensely proud I am to be from Hull, but...
We do.
Well, our story is, I suppose, our story, but it's the case of if you look around the paddock, everybody's trying 100% to make it work. There's we're not special, but we maybe do it in a slightly different way.
Indeed, you've got a very communal atmosphere, and that was obvious when in the restart to race 2 on the Sunday for the Supersport guys. James got second, and there was a big roar, and then James took the lead, and there was even bigger roar. Obviously it's all worked out very well with bringing James in. But was there a bittersweet kind of taste, because obviously the team was all centred around Bjorn? Did you want your first podium to be with Bjorn, or does it not really matter for you?
No, it does matter. No, I would have. Yeah, I can say that, but that's taking something away from the team. Yes, as it all started out, we was close last year. Every time I watched the Alton Park video of Bjorn versus Ben Curry, I think he's going to go past him all the time, but he doesn't. But he also, the thing about Bjorn, he realises what we've put into it, and sometimes he puts in very mature rides at times. I think he doesn't get the credit. But to answer your question, yes, I would have done, but that doesn't take anything away from James. I was absolutely delighted for him, and I'm delighted because he so gets the team. He so gets me. He so gets Carl. He gets everybody. Quite bizarre because I'd never even spoke to the kid before he came to join the team. Sorry, I'd never met him, but I got such a good vibe off him, and I don't think it was a great deal to do with me why he joined the team. It was to do with Andy Jameson, because he knows Andy's capabilities with my train and such, and various other teams. So, and he'd always wanted to work with Andy Jameson, and Andy Jameson had wanted to work with James. So it was a case of it started off from there. But to answer your question, yes, it would have been the romantic end to the story if Bjorn would have got it.
That's fair enough. I think that's what a lot of people would have expected you to say. Another question here, a bit more back to you and how you've not really been a bike person. Has being involved in British Superbikes converted you? And now do you watch like the MotoGP, the World Superbikes and all of that, or are you still not big on the whole thing?
I don't particularly watch British Superbike. I am a fan of Brad Ray, and to be honest, I'm not that bothered. I did watch MotoGP, and I thought that was a very entertaining race at wherever it was, last one. And I'm a big Formula One fan, but Formula One has just it's changed, and there's the joke is that I've always been very pro car, and Formula One and rally and whatever, and I've always dissed bikes, and I said that I wish I would have got into bikes earlier, but it's just not part of my. It's just not part of me, because all of my family, I'm the youngest of 6, and all of my eldest brothers did rallying. So what I did, I went down the rallying route. So I was watching rallying, servicing when I was a kid and whatever, going to the RAC, and people will look at a 2-stroke 500cc MotoGP or whatever they are, and you can see there's grown men going weak at the knees. Well, for me, it would be Hanno Mikkela's Audi S4 or whatever, or it would be a Porsche 962 Le Mans car. That absolutely just flicks my switch. But seeing a bike, it's a bike. But I do like our bike, and I do like orange.
I thought that would be the case, because of course you've got obviously there's quite a lot of custom in the Dutch market for you guys, and you put out a special livery last year at Assen.
Yeah, I mean, this might sound a bit callous, but this is a business transaction for me, and I'm trying to engage. Or I am engaging with the whole point of starting the team was to increase export, because it's massively expensive, and you've got to justify to your accountant, you've got to justify to many people why you're spending all this money on a team. But the point is, we've increased our turnover in export sales. We was running about 18%. I think we're about 50%, 55% now. Now, would I have got that without the bike racing team? Possibly. Does it justify it? Yeah, possibly. Because we've had visitors from Iceland, we've had visitors from to come to the bike racing from Sweden, from Holland, from Ireland, and from Romania, and all these people have placed orders. Now, would they place the order without going to the bike racing? Possibly, yes. But did they feel that like they had a great time? Yes, they did. Did they enjoy the experience? Yes. I sell holes in the ground. I sell inspection pits. These are not sexy items. You need to make people feel warm. You need to engage with them, and I've always said that I want them to feel that if they don't buy that inspection pit off me, it'll be the worst decision they'll make, which is a daft thing to say, but you need to engage fully. And I don't say, if you want to buy this pit, you can have some free tickets. You pull people in, you sit them down, you give them homemade food, you engage with them, they have a good time. I mean, the guys we had 6 clients on this weekend. They had a fantastic time. Monday morning, they're ringing me up. Brilliant time, thank you very much, and whatever. And that's what you've got to get that. And I really got that last year at Silverstone. And I won't say what I said because I was swearing, but we had lots of customers there. Bjorn was posting purple lap times. He was really on it, and I really thought that was going to be the time that he got it. But he come down to the pitch straight, and he had a bit of a warning, and then he gave it just a bit too much, and it flipped him over. But it was like being ringside at a boxing match, and it was fantastic, and all of my customers who were there, they had a fantastic time, and they'll come back. And if we're a little bit out on the quote, we're a little bit more expensive, but they'll come back because they've had a great time, and that's what it's about for me.
Do you see yourself moving into the car racing side of things, because you are primarily cars?
No, I don't, because the thing about the bike paddock, I don't want this to come the wrong way, but it's quite a working class, proper feel and proper vibe to it. You've got access. I mean, I've been going to Formula 1 for years and I've not really been to British touring cars, but you are the great unwashed. You're not really welcome. You are, but with the bike, there's so much access. They all know the riders, and there's a great feel to it. And I've got no aspirations to go to the car. I mean, really, we should be doing a truck team, because that's our niche market. We don't sell inspection pits to bike companies. We sell them to truck companies, to bus companies. But I'm just overwhelmed by the amount of people who actually rock up to these events. Was it 64,000 people at Brands Hatch season finale last year?
Yeah.
I think it was fantastic. Cardwell Park in the park. It's absolutely brilliant. And I went into a company today. I went to see about 3 inspection pits, and he came. This one of the mechanics came across. He said, "Oh, are you the guy who owns the Superbike team?" And I don't know, and it's brilliant. It casts a very wide web, and it really, and it's really moving forward. It's good.
Okay, final question before we move on to the League of Knowledge. Now that James has got the team's first podium, is that the start of something bigger and better to come? Can James just slowly go on to win races? Can Bjorn come on and get onto the podium? Can you guys challenge for the championship by the end of the year? There's 10 rounds still to go.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we definitely can. I think if you've got, the team that we've got behind us. I make a joke of not knowing a great deal about bikes and whatever, but we've certainly put together a great team. I was quite fortunate to get hold of Andy. And we've got Connor from Northern Ireland. We've got Scotty from Northern Ireland, who were pretty much part of the Mart Train team. And we've got Connor. I don't exactly know his background, but I know he's been done. But these are very, very competent people. We had a lad called Scott who was working for us over the weekend. The kid works for Honda Formula 1. We're not employing weekend warriors here, although, we're putting together a proper team. And I think definitely Bjorn will get a podium this year. There's no doubt about that. Whether he gets a win or not, I sincerely hope he does. James can certainly get a win. It'd be great to get a 1-2, and it's difficult to see both bikes going out together. You just hope they never take each other off. But yeah, I think we are a well-financed team, but when you see the teams that we're actually going against, EHA especially, they've got a fantastic setup, going very well, and you've got Gearlink, who have got all of that tradition, and you've got Appleyards, who have got they're on the brand new bike, and you've got the Oliver lad, who's coming through. There's a lot of competition out there. But there's no reason, probably punching a little bit above our weight. But we will certainly we go out every single race to win, like everybody does. So for us to say, well, no, we haven't got a chance in hell, then we have. And I think that when you go back to 2015, when James was riding for Keith Flint, he did really well. He was absolutely up there, and it'll be great when he gets his first win.
We've got, I think we've got a question here. Simon Thompson says, I went to Kelvin with you. Congratulations on your brand's result. So it's more of a congratulation.
Yeah. Well, I was a fat lad then, which I still am, but I was a fat lad then with a really bad stutter. So And that's why I talk so much, I think, because I can now talk okay.
We've got also a question from our very own Lester Forbes. He wants to know your opinions on Brexit, with you being a businessman and a big European market. How is Brexit shaping up for you?
Brexit. Right, Brexit. Let's park that one to one side. The thing that why I'm pushing so hard is because the UK pound has been weak against other currencies. We did a deal in America a few years ago where we sold at $177 to the pound. When now we was doing it at 127. Why are you smirking, Kiko? What's just happened?
It's Lester. He's not very happy that I've just thrown him under the bus. Ignore him for a moment. 1 minute. There we go. That's that phone sorted.
So we can sell our products at a very competitive price, and we don't have to give a great deal of discount. So it's because the pound is weak. Having said that, the pound is regaining some of its ground and getting a little bit stronger. But Brexit. I mean, I went to seminars, I went to also, I didn't even vote in the Brexit, which is something that I'm not particularly proud of. But I was actually in Denmark the morning that it got announced, the result, and I wanted to vote, but if you was going to be out of the country, you needed to tell them 10 days before or something, and I didn't realise that because I was going to be in Denmark. But the sun will come up. And each day, and a deal will be done. And, obviously the likes of the Germans and the British and the French and the Italians wanted to work with, especially with Britain is a massive market. Common sense has to prevail. But I'm just pushing like hell whilst we still have a deal in place. But we'll see. And there's cleverer people than me who will hopefully get it sorted out. So,
okay. Thanks for answering Leicester's curveball there. My phone's over there. It's going to have a million messages on it when I pick it up in a minute. I don't think we have any more questions come through. So let's crack on then with this League of Knowledge. So, you watch the show regularly. We see you tuned in, you comment and all that. So I think you know how it all works now. Your last question will be the 30-second timed answer. And we must say for the public that in the briefing that me and Stuart had yesterday, this is a bit more Formula One spec for Stuart today. So just to give him a fair chance of competing, we've put him a bit of a four-wheeled action on there too.
I apologise, Superbike fans.
Yes. Apologies on the Superbike show for ruining your evening and going to four wheels. But, Stuart, are you ready then for your first question?
Yes.
Okay. Right. Which driver won the 1995 Canadian Grand Prix, his only win of the year?
Olivier Panis.
Not quite. No, Jean Alesi.
Oh, bugger. You've got me. Okay.
I won't say what I told him yesterday in our little briefing. He said something along the lines of, "Yeah, I'll be okay." I said, "I will mug you off." But we'll see how it goes. One question down, and 4 more to go. So, question 2. Also in 1995, which country was the only country to host 2 Grand Prix in the same
when?
1995.
Germany?
Japan.
Mm.
Never mind.
What do you do at the weekend?
I'll bring it anyway. Right, next question then, moving on swiftly. The 1993 Italian Formula One Grand Prix, what was the podium? And you get a mark, a point for each correct placing. Or for each correct driver on the podium. 93.
God damn it. I should have been watching my videos, shouldn't I? Schumacher?
Carry on. 2 more. I'll tell you whether they're right or not at the end.
93. Alesi and Senna.
Okay. So we've gone Schumacher, John Alesi, and Ayrton Senna. John Alesi was second, but Schumacher retired, and Senna was not on the podium. The podium that day, Damon Hill won, and Michael Andretti was third.
Michael Andretti was third. Get him, must have been his only one.
That was 1993 at the Italian Grand Prix at Monza. So, 1 point out of a potential 5, but we've got 9 more points to gain, and there's one question here. We're on bikes now, so we might actually do better.
Yeah,
In 2016, who was the British Supersport champion? Stapleford. No, Taron McKenzie.
I think you did your bikes off, you know. Talk to me about Hull City.
Oh dear. Okay, well, Lester, where are you? Now we need the timer. So we've got a 30-second timer. There you are. The League of Knowledge, Stuart Everard. So you've got 1 point so far. Now the following question is worth 8. That's 1 point so far. The following question is worth 8. Now you will have 30 seconds to name the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, just double checking. You'll have 30 seconds to name the 8 race winners of the 1985 Formula One season. Your time starts now.
Riccardo Patrese, Nigel Mansell, Alan Prost, Ayrton Senna.
Just under 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Time up. Okay. So you said Riccardo Patrese, Alan Prost, Ayrton Senna, and Nigel Mansell. Alan Prost is correct. Ayrton Senna is correct. Nigel Mansell's correct. Riccardo Patrese, not so. So in total, we have 4 points. You could have said on the last question, Elio De Angelis, Michele
Elio De Angelis won a race.
Yeah, 1985. Michele Alboreto, Keke Rosberg, Niki Lauda, or Nelson Piquet.
Ah, well.
So the final score for you then, 4 points out of 14.
Well, it's better than I got in my English O level anyway, so.
Well, that doesn't matter.
So am I bottom of the league, or?
You are now, unfortunately. You've just pushed. Make it Formula One, he said. I will do well.
Yeah,
4 points is a new low on League of Knowledge so far this season. Ben Curry is the only one who has scored one more. He scored 5 points when he came on. So not bad company down the bottom of there. So yeah. And of course, don't forget we can always have Bjorn on and we can test him as well. So
absolutely.
Stuart, it's been amazing to have you on for the best part of half an hour. We wish you all the very best for the rest of the season. I'm sure we'll see you around at Alton Park. And lay off the black pudding.
Well, I do like the black pudding, you know I do. I'd just like to say, Everquip Garage Equipment sponsor the Haunted Biker event, and that is going to be held on I think it's the 26th of August, I believe. It's a great event. The team's going to be there with the race team and Sam Home, who's a 600 stock rider for us, and Nick Pennell, who rides in the Classic Series. It's a really good event. It's all by volunteers. It's in my hometown of Hornsey, and for the last 3 years the weather has been blistering. So obviously this year it's going to absolutely piss it down. But hopefully the weather's going to be great, and it's a good event. It sponsors it supports the Yorkshire Ambulance, and it gives a lot of money to charity. So please come along, meet James, meet Bjorn, meet the team. They have ride-ins and all sorts. There was probably 3,000 or 4,000 bikes turned up last year, and it's a really good event. So come along to the East Coast and support the event if you could. Sounds good to me. I think everyone's. I wanted to go last year, but I think it clashed with something I was doing, and like this year with your team launch, that unfortunately clashed. Can I ask where you got your Beefeater glass from? I don't know, really. My wife made it for me, but I do like a gin and tonic, and so that's so. Yes, it's not lemonade; it's got gin in it, but it's only Gordon's. When normally I do have a slightly high classer one, but yeah, other brands are available. Stuart, pleasure as always. Always a good laugh, and I'll catch you at Alton Park. Yeah, we'll be at the test, and we'll see you and then we'll see you over the weekend. Cheers. All the best. See you later, Stuart. Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Now. This is Motorsport Radio. Join the conversation and have your say on motorsport-radio.com. Motorsport Radio. The Superbike Show on Motorsport Radio.
Fantastic. Yes, well done to Kiko, I'd say, for putting those questions to him. A little Jeremy Paxman, isn't he, Kiko? Yeah.
Oh dear! You asked the question. Ask him about Brexit. It came from you.
As a producer's one of the many roles of a radio show producer is to suggest potential topics, and since he was very involved in commerce and business and such, and trading in Europe and stuff, it just seemed like an obvious thing to. It's like, oh yeah, and Lester wants to know what's the effect on Brexit. But you didn't have to say it quite like that. But yeah, well done anyway. And that good thing that he's not overly sensitive, and that you rubbed it in, that he was now like the very bottom of the league of knowledge. You're the worst. Don't worry about that. That's what Kiko said. So yeah, good half-hour chat, and that was very interesting. Did he really have a gastric bypass?
Well, you heard it from the horse's mouth, so he must have. Okay,
fair enough. I believe him, of course.
Are you questioning his what he's saying?
No, it's just very unusual to come across someone else who has gone through a similar sort of thing. That's all. But yeah, fair play to him, I suppose. It's a fantastic thing, and yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. I was just speculating, basically. Yeah, a good half hour, and you can. What we'll do is instead of having to endure the full 2-hour show, if you just wanted to perhaps rewatch that interview again, or maybe listen to it again, head to the website motorsport.radio, and it will be posted up on there, and maybe the social medias as well. Yeah, it's all good, Kiko. Well done.
Yeah, brilliant interview, lots to learn, and actually really good to get a different insight into bike racing as well as the business side of things, because it's unusual for a team to effectively sponsor themselves.
Yeah, and it's also unusual for, I think anyway, for someone like Stuart to come out and just be totally unashamed and say, yeah, I'm really not that much of a bike guy, to be honest. You know, it's, I mean, I do it for my own reasons. It's this, and this, and, you know, I like it when I'm sort of doing it, but, you know, it's, you know, it's refreshing, I would say. Refreshing would be a good word. Yeah. So yeah, that was good. Quick check on the old comments. Anything good as a comment flooded in?
I don't know, Lester. I thought you was keeping I
was having a Solero during that, so I was keeping myself cool. other ice-based.
Paul Vickers has updated us on his World Wheelie Competition achievement.
Oh, right.
It was 151.1 miles an hour for a kilometre in 2004 on a Honda Fireblade. That's what he achieved.
A wheelie for a kilometre?
That's 150 miles an hour.
Oh. Not bad.
We've pinned the comment, so it'll be the first one you see. So everyone, give Paul Vickers a round of applause.
Yes, give him a round of applause is what the sound effect would be if I was to have one prepared. But anyway, what are we talking about next? Still BSB or
yeah,
else?
BSB briefly. Stock Thousands, we haven't quite covered that yet. Interesting weekend. Andy Reid, again, looking good, as is Billy McConnell. Those two are at the top of the championship. Morello Kawasaki still just a little bit off the pace, the reigning champions, with Josh Elliott and Sam Clark. Excuse me there for forgetting. But no,
he's getting old.
I think that series has got a bit more to come yet. There's a lot of riders who have got to come up there.
Yeah, like the rest of the season.
Yes, Jordan Gilbert, both of those in the IMR team are looking good. I think that give it a few rounds and we'll see Alex Olsen back up there. He had a really good weekend this weekend. Ash Beach had a good weekend. And don't forget there's also Tom Ward, who had a bit of a disappointing weekend, I suppose, a bit of an annoying weekend, but progressive. So when he gets that Suzuki working and when he's adapted to the style of the bike, I think young Tom will be there as well. And Mission Racing as well. Don't forget Mission Racing. If you go on my Twitter, I think I put it out on, there are some photos of how that bike looked on Saturday night. Second hand, to say the least. But Russell Owen and all the team there doing a great job rebuilding Fraser Rogers' bike. And don't forget Ben Godfrey, Long Eaton's Ben Godfrey, very local to me. Good season start so far. Maybe they would have wanted more, but first couple of rounds in, everyone's still bedding in, and I think there's a bit more to come.
And did we talk about 600 earlier?
We briefly did about James Rispoli with Stewart.
Yes.
It was a Jack Kennedy win in race 2. I think, did he win them both? Can't even remember. I think Jack won both of them. Yes, he did. He won race 1 and race 2.
Hugo hereby decrees.
James Rispoli, as we already mentioned, was got a flying start and was second in race 2 with Ben Curry third. But I think it could well be James Rispoli being a bit of an upset at the front now. That after round 1 we thought it's the Jack Kennedy and Ben Curry show. But James has proven his worth now. And Tom Oliver, another one, absolutely phenomenal. Stuart mentioned him just then whilst he was on air. He's starting to come good as well. He had a podium in the first round, but he looks consistent, and that's the main thing as well.
I did think, you're reminding me over my my incessant heat stroke from today that I think we're all suffering from a little bit. I think I remember feeling very bad for Ben Curry because the red flag came out. It started to rain, I think, didn't it? And then it came out when he was leading, or he was like about to take the lead or something like that. And then the red flag came out and kind of
scuppered his chances. But he was still there. You know, most impressive thing for me was James Rispoli going out as quick as he did. That was a risky decision, but it paid off, you know. Risk takers are the ones that tend to be willing to push it that extra limit, and James did, and, you know, it was a risk worth taking.
He risked it for a biscuit.
And he wasn't a cookie that crumbled.
Tumbleweed. Yeah, right. So, okay. What is the latest in MotoGP? To be perfectly honest, I've sort of took my eye off the ball since we did the Cal tribute last week.
Nice.
And the only thing I saw the Marquez thing blaming the electronics as to why he stalled on the grid.
The typical Honda line then, but we'll skirt around that. But
it was. I mean, there's not really been that much big news, if at all anything, come out of MotoGP 2 or 3, has there?
Been very little. I mean, Valentino Rossi has literally just had his press conference, or his media debrief that was streamed live on MotoGP.com. And from what I can gather on the reaction on Twitter, it was very boring, and both he and Marc Marquez dodged the relationship question between them both. So that one will run and run.
Well, I suppose if he would have said anything interesting to the press, it would have just reignited everything. So that's probably why he was, I'm guessing, purposefully boring.
I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with a little bit of conflict. You know, in sport, it adds to the dynamic,
but I mean, on a
dimension. Yeah,
on a Thursday press conference, I mean, if you start out the weekend already on a high by overhyping everything and fireworks and explosions and, wow, what's Rossi going to do? He fires back at Marquez. Marquez hits back at Rossi. Where'd he go by Sunday? He'll be, like, hyperventilating.
True, but if you remember, the big fallout between the two of them came on a Thursday. Valentino Rossi was having a go at Marc Marquez at the 2015 Malaysian Grand Prix in the press conference, and obviously that off-track shenanigans spilt onto the circuit, on-track shenanigans, and obviously cost Valentino Rossi's title because the two got in a bit of a mess and tangled with each other, and that was the end of that. So, yeah, Thursdays, as boring as they can also be quite exciting. And I think Keith Ewan used the expression, Valentino Rossi has thrown a grenade on a couple of occasions, and unfortunately it's rolled back under him.
That's an interesting phrase.
One that the motorsport community should use more.
Perhaps. Anyway, any particular rumours of anything? Not necessarily news, but I know you've usually got your ear to the ground and mithering various sources, Heinz and HP and stuff.
I don't like source, actually. Mark Hill knows about this. We had a very interesting conversation. The mechanic at Ryan Vickers' team. We had a great conversation about whether sources should be used at all. But if you're just tuning in, yes, this is the Superbike show. Welcome back. There's a rumour that Andrea Iannone will be back at Ducati next year, and I can't say who gave me that rumour, apart from the words are Howarth and Michael, and they're jumbled around. So, that's where that rumour's come from. That's also a rumour about Aprilia, as we said earlier. And there's Lorenzo to Suzuki, but nothing really updated since we last spoke. As far as Moto2 is concerned, there's certainly not been very much coming out of there. At the moment, there seems to be a lot of sponsorship deals carrying on into the next season. I think Parts Europe are continuing to sponsor a few rounds this year, or be a partner of MotoGP, as is Coolfab. And we must mention that because if you want to get the latest news on Coolfab Racing, you can go to the Coolfab Racing website, or you can go to MotoGP, the official MotoGP.com website, where our report went out there last week, I think now. Last week it went out, and we've reached a brand new audience of an extra 1.2 million people. So when people don't believe our statistics and say, you don't get thousands of visitors on your show. Are you talking
to anyone in particular there, Kiko?
No, not at all, but I'm just thinking, you don't get thousands of viewers on your show. Who do you think you are, you small little...
Kiko's now having an internal rant based on his own voices in his head.
We can just shut up, because we can obviously reach the big numbers.
Just to let you know, I'm presuming you don't have a clue what we're talking about. Motorsport Media, the production company that owns Motorsport Radio, also does PR service for various BSB teams and a couple of BSB riders and fitness gurus and such, and also provide, amongst other things, live commentary and live streaming for the Coolfab Racing British Minibikes Championship, which is not a mouthful, and also a bit of PR for them as well. A press release rounding up how fantastic each round was, and as Kiko rightly said, that press release was then distributed by MotoGP themselves. Wow.
Don't do things by halves here, do we, Lester? At all.
So,
and where's the next round of the Cool Fab British Mini Bike Championship? I've forgotten. Is it down in front somewhere?
Well, good thing you should ask, because the second round of the 2018 Cool Fab Racing British Mini Bike Championship is at Clay Pigeon in Dorset. And, it will be streamed live, and it is free to go. So if you're in the area, take your family along. It is a family-friendly day out. You don't have to be deeply invested in wanting to ride a bike. If you are just in the, I think it's near Yeovil. It's in between like Yeovil and Dorchester, I think.
It's in an irrelevant part of the country either way.
And hopefully they've got good enough internet signal for us to stream live on motorsport.radio and coolfabracing.com. And hello to all the people racing in the championships who we know tune into this show as well. So people, our new audience as well, and a big hello to everybody listening from around the world, because we've had a couple of thousand people all over the world tune in.
Just get my phone. I can check comments.
So this is the sound of Kiko checking comments on his phone that he placed over there. But yeah, a big hello to everybody who is new to Motorsport Radio, and I think we've promoted ourselves enough, haven't we? Yeah, yours. So Kiko, what's new on the old phone?
I don't know. I've got a new phone. I'll double check now.
Never starts, does it?
No. Let me just have a little look.
I need some sort of music here, don't we?
What's that one?
Anyway, Marcus Hill has been on. Hi, Marcus. Don't know why I banged the desk. But he suggests, and I think he was talking about sources. I can't quite place this comment anywhere else. It's just a comment on its own. And he says, cold custard.
Ugh.
Some people might think...
see, cold custard on its own, yes.
On its own? What are you going to do with it on its own?
Eat it. Cold custard with a hot pudding. Just big
No. You have cold custard.
You've got to warm the custard up.
You can have it with a cold apple pie. Not cold, but just room temperature.
Yeah, don't have... Well, I don't like apple pie anyway. It's wrong that something so healthy should be...
Sort out, Marcus.
Marcus,
Anyway.
That's who we had the conversation with.
Right. Linda's been on. Linda Hackshaw says...
That's his missus. Keeping him in order.
He doesn't... He don't like pork pies either. Exasperated face or shocked face. And I think over there we left a bike conversation. We should maybe go and pick it up.
I think we should.
But
what would you like to know, Lester? I'll give you a question, actually, because I never get to ask you a question, and I'm a journalist.
There's a really... You'll find out in a moment why.
I'm going to ask you a question. In World Superbikes, were you expecting Yamahas to be a little bit closer than what they were?
No.
Because that's what Alex Loeb seems to be saying.
Well, I wasn't expecting it, so...
Well, do you think Yamaha should be winning races by now in World Superbikes?
Not particularly.
Third year?
I'm not bothered.
No, I'm asking you, do you think they should, though?
I don't know. They can do what they want, can't they?
Oh, anyway. You're watching the Superbike show.
Are you asking me, do I think they should have already won some big thing? I'm to be honest, I'm a complete total neutral. I'm not passionate either way. I like to see good racing, and I get very upset when good racing doesn't happen in front of me, either at the track or on the TV. Does that answer your question?
No.
Okay.
It doesn't.
I wouldn't go off. I mean, did you ask me that so you could maybe set up a big rant for yourself, perhaps, about the situation? Okay.
I'm asking you because it's good to have a conversation. Because people like Marcus and Linda are joining the conversation.
Well, yeah, with
and now you're not.
Comments about cold custard and stuff.
Yes, quite right as well.
Anyway, but yeah, no, to answer your question, I don't have any particular... I don't think that they should have been doing anything in particular. I'm literally a neutral when it comes to
So this is what you get, folks. Formula One people, the most boring people in the world.
Who said I'm a Formula One person?
Car person, then.
Who said I'm a car person?
You know you're a car person.
I never denied it.
Oh, yeah, so you're confirming it then. Anyway, talking of Yamaha in World Superbikes, Michael van der Mark, their rider, is at home this weekend at Assen. World Superbikes at Assen, of course. Johnny Ray, probably the favourite to do the business there, I'd say.
Why?
He just always seems to go well there. And Brits always seem to go well at Assen as well. I mean, Foggy, he won there more or less every year back in the 90s. You know, it is just such... And for once, World Superbikes pulls a huge crowd in Assen. It really is a massive, great crowd. And with Michael van der Mark there, looking like he could well do the business this year on his second year at the Yamaha. Yeah, I think Michael van der Mark and Johnny Ray could be off and running at the front if Chaz Davies can't go with him, if Marco Melandri can't go with him.
Interesting. But do you think any differently? Maybe you think van der Mark could be destined for MotoGP anytime soon? He almost sort of deputised for Rossi last year, didn't he? Did he actually race in a race?
He did, yes. He replaced Folger, I think, Malaysian Grand Prix.
A one-off, yeah.
At Sepang.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's right. He was meant to be replacing Rossi, and then that didn't happen, and then he replaced the other guy instead. So, anyway. So, if you're passionate about van der Mark and his chances, perhaps, for this weekend or next year, let us know. Kiko's already texting in.
Sorry.
You all right there?
I'm just logging on to see the comments. That's all. I forgot I had it turned up. Ow. Oh dear, we're having a disaster.
This is Motorsport Radio. My name's Lester. This is the Superbike Show, and we're usually here every Thursday between 8 and 10. I get the feeling that tonight's show might be a little bit shorter, though.
Yes, I think it will be, yes. We're going to be honest, if it didn't show already, we're not very prepared, because I have been flat out all day. Lester's
here we
flat
go.
out all day. And we've literally, this is our plan.
What,
the last thing in this book was...
What's that? What book is that?
Yes, Glenn Irwin's interview last week. That is as much as we've planned.
Is that a skill book?
Nicked from Parkside Community School back in 2015. God. Dug out the corner of my garage. So yes, I use that for all the show notes.
Oh, where's my Grange Hill music when you need it?
None. There's no notes. That's how, because it's just so busy. We are very, very busy. Meetings, Motorsport Radio, Towers is just risen.
So heat stroke affecting everybody tonight in various ways, and Kiko has actually been busy, as have I, and what are you going to be doing this weekend, Kiko? Where are you going to be? What are you doing?
I'm going to be at home. Well, in fact, at evenings I'm working at the Hostess Restaurant, which is a brilliant restaurant in Mansfield Woodhouse. Come along, good prices, good food.
All right.
Sometimes good service. Yeah, depends on who you get.
Right.
Totally, of course. Yes, you can. What was I going to say?
You're going to be at home watching telly.
MotoGP. I'll be watching MotoGP. You can tune in on BT Sport if you have access in the UK. Don't really know about other countries. Don't take a lot of notice. But the MotoGP video pass is available as well. Steve Day always on comms there with Matt Burke. Great team. But no, BT Sport. I think it all kicks off live at 2:45 on BT Sport 2 HD. Moto3 practice first. Then there's World Superbikes, and also should mention World Superbikes now streaming their free practice sessions live on Eurosport. So actually a much bigger, a much more comprehensive roundup of the weekend's action, because you can watch it like you can MotoGP. It's brilliant now that they've started doing that. So that's on as well, World Superbikes. And MotoGP, that's the two-wheeled action, and I must confess, I come across as a bit of a two-wheel person. I am. But I don't mind a bit of IndyCar, and I believe that's on this weekend too. Don't know where. I know it was at Long Beach last weekend, and Alexander Rossi did the business there, but I don't know where. Do you know where IndyCar is this week?
Not a clue. Don't know. I haven't. I've tried to. I try my best to sort of have it on my list of championships to follow, but it didn't make the cut. So I do like IndyCar though, and I try and watch, and I do watch. I correctly predicted last year's Indy 500 winner,
Takuma Sato.
Yeah, I was on Motorsport Radio, and I said Takuma Sato will win, and again everybody laughed at me, which nicely brings us on to, I would suppose, some predictions. So for this weekend.
Why have you got all echoey?
Some predictions for this weekend, Kiko.
Yes.
Let us do
it's the Grand Prix of Alabama this weekend.
Alabama. Don't do the accent.
So full of racists then down there in Deep South. Lester just cries. But no. Predictions, Lester. What are you going to say? Because I'm just going to say whatever you're going to say.
Oh God. I feel like Stuart Everard now. I think we've hit a new low. Anyway, no. So this weekend, then MotoGP.
Top 3 in each class.
Well, would you like the top 3 in each class then? Jesus Christ. Okay. I don't even know who's in the. Let me have it. Usually, I check out the standings first, and then see who's been going well, and then who did well last year, and then.
Who do you reckon will win MotoGP then?
What, for this weekend?
Yep.
I will tell you who will probably.
I'm going to go Marc Marquez.
Whoa, just chill out there.
So you can't.
So go on then. Give me your top 3.
Marc Marquez.
Right.
Cal Crutchlow. And Alex Rins.
Interesting. Okay, MotoGP. How did they do last year? Let me have a look.
In Moto2, Miguel Oliveira, Mattia Passini, and Joan Mir. I think Joan Mir might be in for his first podium. Because rookies always seem to go well at COTA. Viñales won there, Rins won there in their first year. Moto 3, Aaron Canet, Marco Bezzecchi. Who should we have as a little outsider? Go for Bastianini. That's my podium predictions across all classes.
Okay, interesting.
Now over to our Glossop studio for Lester Forbes. Lester, what are your predictions?
Yes, well, for MotoGP, it will be a win for Johan Zarco.
Okay.
And Rossi will be second, and Marquez third.
So you're telling me that the person who has got every pole position in the MotoGP class at COTA and every win in the MotoGP class at COTA will be third?
That's what I said, isn't it?
Okay. Fun statistic. You say Johan Zarco can win. I don't actually disagree with that, because if you look at Johan Zarco...
here we go, jumping on the bandwagon already.
No. Johan Zarco, okay, hasn't got a best track record in this state, actually, but he has got, since Japan, he has been on the front row in 6 consecutive Grand Prix, of which 4 have been converted to podiums. 3 have been converted to podiums. So he's in good form.
Okay.
And if he wins, he will be the first rider since Regis Laconi in Valencia 99 to win a MotoGP or 500cc Grand Prix.
Interesting. Moto 2, total guess, because I've probably missed most Moto 2 races due to various other things that I do. Bagnaia.
Okay.
Passini and Brad Binder.
That's an interesting little outsider, yeah, okay.
Moto 3, I've even less of a clue, to be honest. I don't even know who. I'd just literally be pulling names out of a hat, because I don't know who's good in there at the moment. Della Porta.
For a win.
Yeah, why not? Let's say
Okay.
that.
Second.
Bezzecchini. Marco.
Marco Bezzecchi. You've gone the same as me then for second. Okay.
And
Third.
old Norridin.
Adam Norridin, the Malaysian.
Yes.
Very nice. What about World Superbikes then?
Oh God.
Top three there.
All right. I don't even.
Pardon us while he Googles it. I'm going to say Van der Mark. I can hear him typing away. Everyone else can hear you typing, Lester.
Shut it.
I'm going to go Michael Van der Mark, Jonathan Ray, and Melandri. And it'll be them three on the podium in some order in race 2 as well.
We didn't actually talk about Aragon at all.
We didn't. No.
We didn't even preview it because we
didn't even
were
preview it.
And I didn't even watch it, to be honest. So yeah, that weekend was a complete blank for me.
Johnny Ray won race 1, I believe, or race 2. Race 1.
You didn't watch it either.
Well, no, it was at PSP, wasn't I? Johnny Ray won race 1, and then Chaz Davies who won race 2. Yes, that's how it was.
Fair enough.
Forres crashed out the lead in race 2, which was a bit of a disaster because he was on a really good run up until then. He was on podiums all over the place. So,
I think I did actually watch part of the commentary because it's coming back to me now. The commentator made a really random comment, which was completely out of place, while there was a battle for the lead. And what am I talking about? I did watch it. I watched like the entire
memory
race.
span that only a goldfish has any shorter of.
And old was it Greg Haynes, I think it was, just literally and not like slagging him off or anything. It was just a noteworthy comment during a pretty intense battle for the lead. Literally out of nowhere, he says, "Oh, and I've seen a text there from MCN's from Ollie Rushby, who's down at Brands Hatch, and he's reporting that Anne Robinson is at Brands today doing some thing about grid girls during the middle of a battle for the lead of the race." And I'm thinking, okay, it was just one of them things that just makes you go. That aside, anyway, I'm not going to make any predictions for World Superbikes just because.
Yes, you are. Right on, you are.
I didn't even.
I don't care. Well, you didn't even.
I don't remember even watching it until I remembered. But yeah.
Pick 3 riders.
Okay. Right. I will pick the riders. Would you like to hear what those riders that have been picked
Go on.
are? Okay. Right. Okay. I would say Marco Melandri.
For a win.
Why not?
Okay.
Chaz Davis and Forres.
So a Ducati 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, why not?
That can't have happened since.
Oh, I remember the last time a Ducati took a 3.
I think it was 2004. It must have been. Phillip Island.
Yeah. Spot on.
It may have even been a Ducati 1, 2, 3 for Gary McCoy, James Toseland, Regis Laconi, and Norrie Harger. Might have been.
But yeah. Yeah. There you go. Have we had any potential other comments flood in or any comments?
So I shall just check
about any other predictions. Perhaps I'm still loading up cold custard here. It's annoying how the Facebook comments, they don't always with the real-time things. Anyway, that aside. So they're my predictions for one of the races in World Superbikes. Let us know your predictions as well.
Yes.
Now is the time to get them to us so that you can feel smug and brag about it once part of your prediction comes true.
Only one of us ever brags about things in this place.
Definitely
and that is Leicester.
Not me.
No, because you never predict anything, right? What was it? You had Cal Crutchlow for a win, and we didn't hear the last of it for what? How long?
Well, you're the one who keep bringing it up. I mean...
You're the one who kept bringing it up last week, mad up.
Well, it was relevant then. I mean, we were celebrating his win. And
we was. Do you reckon he can do it again?
Win? Yeah, he could do.
No, I mean this weekend. First, he'll be the first Brit to do it since 1977. Barry Sheen, Belgian and Swedish Grand Prix.
No, I've already given my predictions. And I've already forgotten him.
Do you think that he could?
Well, anybody could win the race, as long as they start on the grid.
Yes. So, but do you think he could be in the leading group?
Well, of course he could.
Okay.
That's like saying, do you think he could finish the race?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Right, so we've done predictions, we've done previews, we've done BSB, we've done... I think we're done, to be honest. I think we're actually done. Yay, says everyone. Well done, incidentally.
Yeah, because really we do always have like 2 guests on now, don't we? And we've only got the one tonight because everyone else has used common sense and decided not to come on. So yeah, I think that more or less concludes the show.
Yes, exactly. We will put a link to the Dan Hegarty fundraiser in this video as well. So do check it out, and if you feel the need, give generously. Since their life insurance said no to paying out.
Not good.
We're not going to comment on it.
Yes.
We'll probably get sued. But doesn't mean you can't comment on it. Let us know what you think.
Yes, join the conversation.
Indeed, motorsport.radio. Stay with motorsport.radio for the rest of the week, because Kiko's always doing loads of their articles. And what's on the horizon?
There's a MotoGP preview coming out tomorrow. We must get that out. And Moto2 and Moto3, of course. World Superbikes, there will be updates regularly throughout the weekend and a roundup. And also, we'll do our second What We Learned as well. We try and do one at the start of the year. So we did at Phillip Island, and then I think there's 13 rounds. So there'll be one after the 4th round, one after the 8th round, and one big one at the end of the season. What did we learn from World Superbikes 2018? So keep your eyes out for that.
Indeed. What is to be learned? What's to be learned from our predictions? Our correct predictions.
And don't forget, you still have time to join in. You can send us your predictions on the thread.
Will there be another
underneath.
Hue and Bingo?
Yes, there will. Hue and Bingo. Always look forward to that. That takes place on the Sunday morning of the Grand Prix during warm-ups. So it'll be afternoon, I think, this week. But no, that's always taking place. And yeah, it's a great little game. It's quite funny, must admit. Yeah. Modest as well, am I? But no, it's a good little thing to keep everyone entertained throughout Sunday. Not that I need to assist any of the BT Sport crew on that, because it is phenomenal coverage. And I must think, and I did say this in my write-up of the Cal Crutchlow piece I wrote, the coverage that BT gave across that whole weekend was fantastic, especially on Sunday. Normally you get a lot of broadcasters sit on the fence, don't say too much, but they didn't do that, and that's brilliant. We want to hear opinions. That's what the fans want, and that's what we want. So, yeah, exactly. Fantastic stuff all around.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for tuning in to the Superbike Show on Motorsport Radio. It has been a Motorsport Media production. And my name is Lester. Kiko Giles has been here, and we've both been very, very tired and full of heat stroke. It's been boiling, and we've literally just, I think, sweated.
Melted.
Yeah. Join us again, if we're still alive, next week to look back on everything fantastic that happened this weekend, and to look ahead to BSB in the coming weeks. So thank you very much for tuning in, Guam.
And before you go, don't forget, you can join the conversation regarding Brexit, because we asked a question tonight to Stuart Everard. Take care.
Motorsport Radio. The Superbike Show on Motorsport Radio.